Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order and can skip any you don't really want to listen to. Today, we are playing using the combat mechanics from a game called Psychic Cat Chaos. It is our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Psychic Cat Chaos on itch.io. It's made by Neurodivergent Games. Build your own Psychic Cat Chaos character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Whiskey, Maximus, and Bennington. You guys all find yourselves in an alley, somewhere in Nicomoy. You are cats, somehow. You you have like this weird sort of disconnect. You were your own characters, which are Fennis, Mervon, and Sadie, like just a minute ago, but now you're in an alley and you're cats. So describe yourselves as the cats you are. Let's start off with Whiskey.
Okay, well, hello everyone. I'm Fennis Lightwall, but the cat that I am currently inhabiting for who knows what reason is a 10-year-old old brown and black Maine Coon. He's a bit rough and tumble, but he knows where his paws are stepping.
Okay. And next we have another cat, big guy named Maximus.
So Maximus he's rather large. He's more of a basketball than a cat at this point. He doesn't really understand spatial ownership, if you will. So he kind of has this habit of just bulldozing through stuff. But his size allows him to get away with it.
I see. And, and maybe just give us an idea of like who's inhabiting this cat's body.
Oh, absolutely. Mervon the Stolid, he's a hippofolk, a little over 8 feet, a little under 8 feet tall, actually, about 800 pounds. And he just really kind of wants to find a little peace and quiet sometimes.
Yeah, okay. And last but not least, we have Bennington. So what's your cat look like, and who's the character that it would normally be if it weren't a cat?
Bennington is a 6-month-old tabby. He's laying on his back, like with his chin up to the air, looking at you with his ears pressed against the ground, paws in the air, ready to like play / attack. Not sure. He's got those wide eyes, you know. And Bennington is inhabited by someone who very recently was inhabiting Sadie Duca. And she just like sighs and she's like, I liked that body. This is Anne Jopling, a former human from Shakespearean our world, who is like, well, it's better than being dead. Being a ghost is not all that bad. And then I have a list of vocab words for you guys today as I study how to understand Othello. Wonder is sensible is very deeply felt. Dropping fire is thunderbolts. Haply is accidentally. Doth is does. Shent is sharply criticized. Prorogued is postponed. Fall off is to become a rebel or traitor. Shrift is to admit or confess. Gudgeon's a fish. And stoop's a cup.
Wow, that's some interesting vocab. I wonder how we'll see it in this episode.
My goal is if you've got, I'm not suggesting this is a drinking game, but if you've got a bingo card maybe of those words, I'm going to use them, think of ways you can use them. Learn 10 Shakespeare words with me as we play Psychic Cat Chaos.
Yeah. Oh, and about the system, just like a tiny little info session. It's very simple. It's just like 1 page for players and 1 page for GM. It's like you roll 1d6, but you can roll more depending on the circumstances. And basically it's like characters are cats and they have pets, which are basically they're humans. So you get the roles kind of reverse thing. And it's all about causing as much chaos as possible. So that's like a cat chaos. And speaking of chaos, as I said at the beginning of this episode, you guys find yourselves in an alley. Like, it's kind of strange but familiar in a way. It's especially familiar to you, Whiskey. Like, you have the sense that you know these alleys super well, and just as you had woken up, essentially, you had this almost rage within you seeing these other two cats, but you don't know why. It's kind of weird. And yeah, like any alley, there's some rat corpses, there's some garbage. It's kind of dingy, but it's your home.
Oh, well, this seems like a rather comfortable place. Honestly, it looks quite more comfortable than the shed I sleep in. But it is a bit odd how it feels a bit more homey than I would normally expect a random dingy alley to appear to me.
Okay, are you saying this out loud to the other cats?
Yes, I'm saying out loud.
You say that out loud, and like when you say it, it just sounds like meowing to you, to your ears, but then like you get the sense that the other ones understood it. Like you guys like hear the common speaker, whatever the language is, like in your minds. Like it's very clear the message he's trying to send. It's a strange feeling, and you get the sense that you can do a lot of things with your mind. Like it's a sense of power that is unfamiliar to you.
I start to look around to see if there's maybe some reflective surface. I just know everything looks way taller than it's supposed to be, and I'm a little confused.
Okay, so you're searching for a reflective surface. Go ahead and roll a d6. Using your psychic skill, your cat skill.
Probably cat skill, I think.
Cat skill. In that case, I think you roll 2d6. Yeah, you roll an extra d6 if you're using cat skill.
I got 2 4s.
2 4s. Now, is that over or under your perimeter?
That is exactly the same.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. So for each die result that matches your perimeter value, you don't get a success, but instead reveal an opportunity, rumor, secret, or weakness related to your pet, your prey, your goal, or the world around you. So you got 2 dice results like that. So, yeah, you're looking for this reflective surface, and I mean, you can't really find anything reflective. All of the trash that's around is not like metal or glass or anything like that, or any puddles. Like everything's just kind of dry and dingy and crusted over. But like, but yeah, like reveal something about your pet or your character.
Well, I think Maximus is I think he maybe has some status in the community. I think because he lives inside but is that large and kind of gets out on his own, I think he's kind of just revered as maybe a ruler, or not a ruler, but a leader, whether that's justified or not.
So, yeah, while you do not find anything to see how you look like, you do feel this commanding sort of presence within you, this power that extends beyond like this psychic power that you seem to have. Yeah, and the psychic power is you kind of you almost slither into the mind of these other cats, and you feel that you might be able to influence their thoughts, but then you kind of like shrink back before you can do that.
Okay. Because I heard Whiskey talking, I walked toward him and kind of with the classic cat greeting of the little bit of a headbutt, and kind of like, what do you know that's going on? Because I feel big, but I also feel small, and I'm very confused by this.
There's a cat talking to me. This is quite the interesting situation. As far as I know, this doesn't happen regularly. It's nice to meet you. My name is Fennis Lightwall.
Oh no, it's a talking cat. I don't know what to do with this. And I back away slowly, just looking at it.
I see. So cats always identify other living creatures as also cats, even if they're not cats. Although, now that I think about it, last I recall, when I'm standing at full height, I usually tower over cats. But for some reason, I seem to be standing at full height at eye level. So either the world has gotten quite a bit bigger, or I have shrunk for some reason.
Jim, I would like to pounce on Fennis because he is not paying attention to his surroundings.
Okay. Roll a roll. I think that's a 2d6. Yeah. That would be a cat skill.
Are you trying to get over or under with a cat?
So for a cat skill, you want to roll under your perimeter. If you're doing psychic, you want to roll over.
Oh, I miss you entirely. I got a 3 and a 6, and I have a 2 perimeter. I'm better at psychic stuff.
Wow. Okay. So this happens. So when this happens, the current situation gets worse and chaos ensues. So you completely miss Fennis, but you end up just crashing into a big pile of refuse, and you're overwhelmed by the smell of rat carcasses and like food scraps that have been there for who knows how long. You are completely covered in just disgusting things.
Do I like that as a cat, or do I dislike that?
I feel like cats are pretty clean, so I mean, they always lick themselves, right? So that would be like,
oh no, like horrible, like thrashing sounds come from the pile of garbage as I basically am whirlwinding in a circle trying to get myself out. Like I'm scared of my own shadow, like I'm like jumping left, jumping right, jumping into myself, like, and then after frantically scrabbling out of the garbage, I'm like, whoa, whew. And I say, hey guys, I shake myself off. I do this like cat paw flick, like ew, gross.
Oh, hello there, cat, also cat. Might you be a bit more well-informed of my current situation?
You sound like Fennis.
Oh, yes, I am Fennis Lightwall. I did introduce myself to this cat over here a bit ago, but I'm appreciative that you identified my voice. Are you Sadie by any chance?
Yeah, well, that was my old body. Hey, you're a body jumper like me now. I'm Anne, for real.
Oh, well, that is quite a concerning new development, but I suppose I shall just have to go with it. It's good to see you again. Anne, I suppose.
Better than being dead. Am I the only one getting a fanciful, strong craving for a gudgeon?
I don't know what that is, but I certainly am craving it.
So if I'm to understand this, what I have here are 2 talking cats, and you seem to know each other, and one of you has 2 names. And then he just wanders off and lays down.
You're not facing a direction, and I go in that direction. My tail is twitching, and I'm looking at the back of you. Twitch.
I look for the largest spot of sun I can find, if there is one in that alleyway. If there's not, I'm walking toward the sun.
yeah, okay. So the largest spot of sun that you'd be able to find is definitely not in the alleyway. It's kind of in shadow. That's what makes it so cozy, but at the same time, like kind of cold. You'd have to walk out in the street to find a big patch of sun. Yeah.
Then I'm definitely walking out in the street.
The moment you stand up. I would like to pounce on you.
Okay, roll your 2d6 then.
Can I
I'm so
roll
bad at
to
this.
not be destroyed by a leaping cat?
I didn't hit you, don't worry.
Sure. I mean, you can roll 2 to see how well you dodge out of it, or if anything else happens when you dodge.
I got a 5,
That will
don't
be
worry.
again like that will be again the 2d6 because you're using a cat skill to roll out, I think.
I think it's the cat skill, by the way, because I have
Oh,
a
right,
specific
it's
one
this
called
cat.
hearing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I got a 2. So
You got it 2. That's
Is that-
under your
so I rolled under.
Yeah, I rolled over, so I definitely miss you, yeah.
Yeah, so did both of your die go over?
Yeah.
Okay, so Maximus, you dodge out of the way without any problem, and you just gracefully roll over onto a big patch of sun in the street. Also, like, not like stumbling in the way of someone who's walking or anything like that. You're just super aware of your surroundings. You're good. Bennington, you're kind of like, your senses are kind of confused by all that garbage that you just rolled in. So you once again miss Maximus entirely and roll right into someone's feet.
Oh no, a human. I shall not fall off the alley cat lifestyle. I scramble up to my feet and run away like they're very dangerous.
Okay, which direction do you run in?
Back to the alley.
Back into the alley. Okay.
Fennis just says, "Oh, well, I say, Miss Anne, your coordination could use some work. But that was pretty impressive initiative. That pounce work.
It always takes a bit of a moment to get used to my new bodies. The last one had wide ears, and when I turned my head, the first thing I did was smack myself in the eyeball with it. I was wearing an eye patch for a week.
Oh, well, you have whiskers now. I suppose that might be somewhat similar to that anyway.
Oh, yeah, whiskers. What are these for? I am just, like, patting my face.
Oh, Fennis mimics and also tries to pat his face.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
And then, GM, I'd like to actually use my cat skill.
Okay. And I think this one's related to your goal, right?
Yeah. My goal is to catch the
3d6.
greebles. So I'm going to roll 2d6 this time because I am using my cat skill of hearing. Three because I'm trying to hear a greeble. Okay, so I imagine I like Pokemon and I want to catch Pokemon, tame them, and cats have greebles. So I'm going to try to catch a greeble. So I think I'm using my cat skill hearing. Am I going over or under here?
So are you using your cat skill or using your psychic skill?
Oh, I think I have to hear them before I can summon them. Yeah. Which is
because
terrible.
you said, did you hear that?
Yeah.
So I think that means you have to roll over, right? Or, yeah, you have to roll over to succeed.
Oh, okay, over?
Yeah, because if you're using your psychic skill, then you roll over your perimeter. If you're using your cat skill, if you're doing cat stuff, then...
I'm trying to hear them. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. For the listener, in this game, you have a number. Mine is 2. And if I'm rolling over 2, I'm trying to do psychic stuff, like catch a Pokemon / greeble. To catch the greeble, right? Under, and I'm trying to do cat stuff, which is hear the greebles. So I think I have made a very deaf cat because I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 6. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I didn't hear anything. And then chaos ensues.
Okay, so because you're trying to hear it in some, like, this is a strange situation in terms of this system because you're kind of trying to use both your cat skill and your psychic skill. You're trying to use your cat skill to summon, which summoning is your psychic skill. So, so I think it's like one of your dice fails, but the others succeed because, like your cat skill dice fails and then your other dice succeed because it's over the perimeter. Because you're trying to use your cat skill to do psychic stuff, that was a fail. So that we'll call that a failure because none of your dice succeeded. You'll have to do your psychic stuff in a different way besides hearing. So it all goes wrong. You thought you heard something. You spin over and pounce right back into that pile of garbage. The thing that you thought was a greeble was just a rat carcass.
Oh my gosh. I'm so grossed out. I am taking the most furious bath.
No matter where you go, you just seem to always like go back with that pile of garbage.
So when you said that you heard something, you were referring to the sound of garbage?
I can't handle the shunt right now. Sharply criticizing me. I've been in garbage enough. Cats
It is
can't
quite
cry.
a powerful scent.
When I hear you say a powerful scent, I roll my head back, still like fully on my belly, or on my back, sunshine on my belly, to like lay back and kind of sniff the air to see if I can smell her from where I am. So that's what I use. So I'm gonna use my cat skill for that.
Okay, and you're trying to smell Bennington?
Yes, because he said that she smelled badly.
Okay.
And I rolled a 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2.
Against a 4.
I see. And you're using your cat skill, right?
Yes.
So that is a success because, success and dice result that matches. So, yeah, you did very well. It's quite easy to smell Bennington. Like, you, because of your keen sense of smell, you immediately kind of registered all of the cat's profiles. That's another thing that that's probably something that you find makes you such a confident leader and feel so good about yourself. Like the thing that you revealed earlier. I'm kind of revealing another thing that because of your ability to identify each cat and each creature by scent very precisely, you feel very confident in your abilities. You find Bennington once again stuck in a pile of garbage, whirlwinding, trying to escape.
Okay. I'm going to struggle and kind of roll back over onto my belly and stand up and then just walk directly toward Bennington and address Bennington with the, you said something about changing bodies, and I've come to realize that this is not my normal, let's say, physique. Did you do this? You have to tell me the truth. Did you do this?
So, all I know is that I've been through this before. It does seem like death can be a little bit prorogued by body switching. The first time I was probably. Anyway, so the first time, you're not really.
No, stop. We need to back this up a little. Look, I was not dead, and now I'm dead, and I had so many things I wanted to do, and
you still can. You're alive, really.
I'm in this teeny tiny body.
It's not that small. Like, it's very optimistic of you.
Mr. Cat, you are actually quite large.
This is a huge compliment in the hippo hippo humanoid community. Being small is an insult. So you see Max just kind of stand up a little taller, kind of stretches back up to get as tall as he can, and he's like, that would explain why you all listen to me so clearly. And look, I think we just realistically, we still got to figure out how to get out of this. And even if I'm dead, which frankly, I'm quite upset about that. And we're going to have to unpack a lot of this later. I'm not going to lie to you, but what can you tell me about switching out of a body?
Right. So it does appear that death can be prorogued by the spirit entering another living being. The last time I entered this elf woman, so Truck Coon hit me, right? Carriage Coon from Shakespearean England. And all of a sudden I found myself in an elf's body. And then now I must have died in my sleep or something. I don't know. But, it happens. Were we all on an adventure together? Is that... Oh, it's really good that we all died together because you two got my benefit. I seem to not be able to fully die. Glad you were with me. Now you're cats.
Wait, I'm a cat?
You heard me freak out about a talking cat earlier, right?
Oh, you were referring to me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I knew you were referring to me, but I just thought you were identifying everything as cat.
Oh, wait. Well, now I'm wondering if I'm hallucinating. I got a lot to deal with here.
Well, if you are hallucinating, I will help you through it. I've been there before.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, for hallucinations, you're both very, very helpful, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
We happily have some experience.
So, big picture, there's at least one cat here, or one hippo human that's confused and hallucinating about himself, and two other cats being present. Either way, this isn't a good situation for me. And look, the voices in my head might be right. So if you are, or if you are not, I don't know. But what do we need to do to undo whatever's happening now?
Well, a question first to understand why it is happening. Doth the name Fire Breathing Kitten sound familiar?
It does. It was, I just, look, I showed up at this location. They told me they needed some work done. I do some, kind of handyman plumbing stuff, and they gave me a contract. I assumed it was just a standard agreement. I don't know. I ended up with, weirdly, a tattoo. I don't know where they're normally not a requirement, but I'm like, on my skin, it normally would show up quite nicely. So I was fine with it.
Well, there have we. 'Tis all settled. We were out on a job. And we all must have died together, and you two benefited. Now we are cat.
Your definition of benefited is maybe a little different than mine, but if it's better than dead, I'll take it.
The more that I think about it, the more I am starting to notice my hands are quite a lot furrier than I recall them being previously. Perhaps there might be something to this cat thing. They are adorably fluffy, but rather unsuited for lab work, I would think.
'Twould be difficult to hold a stoop with those paws.
Yes. Whatever a stoop is, I'm certain it would be difficult to hold. They are quite nice, though.
The beans.
Beans, yes. Little cat beans. I'm no stranger to taking care of a cat. I once had to do it in the past for one of my students. I wonder whatever happened to him.
The cat or the student? No. The cat or the student?
Both. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that need further context?
A little.
So, the student vanished, but the cat themselves, I don't think the cat vanished. It might have just become an alley cat.
Well, they're heavy. I wonder whatever happened to the mission that we must have been on when we became unfortunately dispossessed of our corpus forms.
Do you guys try to like backtrack and think of what you're doing before you end up in the alley as cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys all were on a job together. You recognize each other's voices and each other's presences somehow. Like there is this sense that it's not like when you look at the cats, you see the cats, but then you feel like you're looking at the person that you were with. It's such a strange feeling. But yeah, you kind of try to retrace your steps to the moment that you immediately before you got transported into the alley. You were actually just finishing a job. You were headed back into the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. It was a very simple job. It didn't even take you a day. It took you 2 hours. You kind of wanted to get your one and done, some quick, easy money. It was just clearing a canal of crocodiles that were eating that were trying to eat people and pets and stuff and being a real nuisance. So you guys found a way to deal with them, to clear them, whether that involved killing them or trying to relocate them. That's kind of up to you guys. But yeah, you guys had done the mission. You were returning at the guild hall. And as soon as you were about to receive your reward, you suddenly blacked out and then found yourselves here.
Okay, so I seem to recall that we relocated those alligators as well. I mean, as much as we could, but I don't recall much after that. Did we get paid? We were supposed to get paid. Did you get paid?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be the first time that I lost track of my reward soon after receiving it, but to my memory, I never actually got the money. But it certainly wouldn't be an achievement if I'd spent it before I even got it.
I must shrift. I have no gold. At least not on this form. Did we get paid? My previous form had so much.
So it sounds like we need to find our bodies. Is that? I think that might be the best way to go. Without at least answer the question of whether we got paid. Now, hopefully, you and your ghost jumping about in bodies, like stuff that you do will help us get back. Look, I don't mind being a cat. I don't want to say anything bad about cats because look, I admit I'm a handsome fellow, but I kind of miss not being furry.
Yes, I don't say that I would. As much as I love these little cat beans, I also like handling my various chemical lab equipment and various other dangerous objects that I try not to have be dangerous, but then they end up being dangerous. But so anyway, I need hands. I'd really like my hands back. I concur with Mr. Cat.
You both sound wondrous sensible. Let's investigate. What can we do to find our bodies? I guess I can close my eyes and listen. Oh, these ears are good.
Yeah, you get the feeling that maybe you might be able to use your skills, whether it's a cat or your psychic skills, to try to figure out what happened, whether you're still alive, whether your body still exists, etc. So, yeah, what would you like to do?
I would like to roll a cat skill hearing to see what's in my environment, and I'm trying to find my way back to their bodies because they seem attached to them.
Okay. Well, I think that does require a cat skill, and it's your goal, because you have 2 goals, right? To catch greebles and to return to your body, or is it just the catch greebles is your goal?
Yeah, maybe someone else should do this, you guys, because cat stuff, I have it too. I'm really, really bad at it. So I'm listening, and I'm like, you both, what skill can you contribute? Come on, use your new cat form. And I'm mostly just cheerleading you.
All right then. I shall use my new cat eyes to see if maybe I can spot something of familiarity or anything that might help us get a bearing for where we are in relation to where we were previously. Just generally figure out our location.
Can I help him?
How would you like to help him?
Okay. I stand up at my full height, arch my back, and say, if you jump on you, I might have a better vantage point from there. I think that get higher up, just you can see better, I think.
Oh, all right, certainly. I'll leap onto Mr. Cat's back, or Bennington, whatever name.
I think that would be Maximus's back.
Max.
And you would have to roll Max to see how well you assist him. I don't know if that's using one of your cat skills or not, or if it's just like a regular 1d6 roll.
I think it's just a regular, yeah.
Okay. Is it cat stuff or it's a cat? I'm assuming it's cat stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So then in that case, you have to roll under your perimeter.
And somehow again, I rolled exactly on it.
So I think that still counts as success. I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, actually no. You don't get a success, but instead reveal an opportunity. Rumor, secret, weakness related to your pet, your prey, your goal, or the world around you. Oh, I guess an opportunity about the world around you. That would be, 1, this place looks very familiar to you. 2, having a vantage point, helps, is actually the best idea you could have had because it helps Whiskey be able to see into the street, which kind of which helps give away the location of where you are. And now you, Fennis, I think you have to roll. It's 3d6. It's 4d6 because you're rolling according to your cat skill, right? Yeah, cat skill, goal, regular d6, and you get the d6 from Max.
So I roll 4 d6s.
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, am I trying to roll over or under my perimeter?
Because it is a cat skill, you want to roll under it.
All right, so I've rolled 4 d6s.
Okay.
None of them have rolled under.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. That's impressive. What was
the target number? Yeah.
My perimeter is 3.
Whoa.
And all of
Did
them
you get
were
any
over?
3s at least?
I got a 5, a 4, a 4, and a 3.
Okay, you got a 3, so that means you do reveal something. Okay, funnily enough, yes, this place is familiar, but you don't know why it's familiar. Like, that doesn't help you at all. And then because you rolled 3 failures, basically, you try to get up on Maximus' back, but he's like really tall and really big. If you've ever tried to ride a horse that is just way too girthy and like it's kind of hard to balance, that's what happens, and you just fall over. So you Whiskey you don't know why this is familiar, but it kind of hits you, Maximus, why this place is familiar. You went out in the street, and the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall is actually just 2 blocks down. So you realize that by looking around that this is an alleyway, just a couple blocks away from the Guild Hall. Like Whiskey's too busy falling over to realize that, but Max, you kind of do.
So I'd like to think he jumped on me. I almost also got like rolled over from it. And as I laid on my back, I kind of flipped the head back and see down the street. And at first I don't recognize it. I just see the logo. And then I roll back over. It brings the logo right side up. And I'm like, oh, the tattoo, that's that, right? That's it, right? Over there.
So Fennis is still recovering a little bit from his tumble. He's seeing stars a little bit, but he'll try to walk out and look at what is being pointed at here. However, a cat can point at something.
Yes, 'tis the tattoo. Tattoos are forever, don't you know? Except when you change bodies.
Yes. Without our tattoos, how are we supposed to identify ourselves to the rest of the fire-breathing kittens?
Well, I mean, I recognize your voices. Won't they recognize our voices?
Meow.
Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Yep, once again, you guys can understand each other. You can, like, have this sort of connection almost, but you just hear meowing whenever you speak to each other. I mean, you haven't tried talking to a human yet. You can try to see how it goes, but yeah, like so far that's all you know.
Are there people walking by? Yeah, are there people walking by on the street?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there are plenty. It's a pretty busy street. It's a pretty busy time of the day. It's afternoon, so the people walking around.
Okay, I'm walking right up in front of a person walking, just looking straight up and be like, "Excuse me, human."
So this person's wearing a business suit with like very, very casual and heels. Like she has this sort of poised walk, but then she looks down at you and you realize that she's not a human at all. She's actually a llama person, with white fur.
I am so sorry. I misspoke there. That is horrible of me. I did not mean to indicate anything about who you are and what you represent, and I am terribly sorry for that mistake. Ms. Llama, if you will, can you please direct us to somebody that can get us access to the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild, please? Thank you.
She kind of like looks at you like taken aback, like, oh wow, so okay, I mean, no problem that I got mistaken for a human. I mean, after all, you're all the way down there, so I guess you didn't see my llama head. But
so does she understand us?
Yeah, like she looks down at you, and that's like one of the reasons that you can tell that's one of the reasons that she's kind of taken aback. She's like, it's weird. I hear you meowing just like a cat, but I can also hear you like in my mind. What's going on with that? I've never met a cat that can do that. So you're saying that you're looking for the fire breathing kittens?
Yes, and I believe it would be very helpful if you were to, take us there. And I'm going to try to suggest in her mind that that's what she wants to do.
Okay. Yeah. So then, that's at least 2d6. If you can like give a reason to if you can like swing why it's like relevant to your goal, then it might be 3d6.
I think that Mervon is thinking back to his home and where he, and is remembering like where he would sleep and wants to just get out of this mess and just relax. This has been a little unnerving for him. So, and I think in his mind that's showing up as like a bright sunny spot to nap. So I think it's related to like it's that mingling of his hippo thoughts and his cat thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In that case, roll a 2d6. You can add an extra d6 if you want. To you.
Okay. I got a 2, a 4, and a 5. So I got one over to one equal and one under.
One equal and one under.
If one dice succeeds, you barely manage it. The GM describes how a tiny bit of chaos ensues or gets wilder.
Okay. So, yeah, you do manage to like influence her thoughts, but like because of her like confusion of like seeing this talking cat, she kind of like she just like puts her hand to her head, just kind of gets a headache, and and she says, I mean, sure, I don't really know. I mean, it's just over there, but yeah, I can take you. I mean,
so
you
you agree? For? Oh, that's fantastic. She'll take me and my two colleagues here. Everybody, come on, jump on. She agreed to it. It's not going to be a problem.
So because she kind of agreed to like take you there. So then she tries to pick all three of you up at once. But you, especially Max, she struggles with because you are just so big and so heavy. Like she tries to pick you up with the scruff of your neck at first because that's how she thinks of picking up cats. Like she picks up you two and then she tries to pick up you. And like she ends up just like she ends up just dropping you back to the ground and trying to pick you back up again.
I will ride the shoulders and the head.
Okay. And then she also kind of starts talking, and so you ride the shoulders and the head. What about you, Whiskey?
Well, I suppose I could find some place to attach myself with my claws. I'm sure that she would have no problems with that.
Just find some random spot to attach yourself with your claws? All right. What about you, Max? She's struggling to pick you up.
Just gonna wrap around her leg.
Oh my god, you're gonna wrap around her leg.
Yeah.
And she's in high heels. Oh boy. Yep. Like, she's determined to take you to the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, but she's struggling a lot. Like, she's just like dragging that leg behind her. People are looking at her weird, and she's just like, okay, let's do this. I mean, it's not like I had a meeting that I was supposed to go to anyways. So yeah, I mean, you slowly, haltingly make your way toward the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, carried by the llama person. This llama person, she says, okay, well, I mean, you can talk inside people's minds. I'm Lika, by the way. Lika Nicastro. What's your name, Talking Cat, and your colleagues?
Oh, I'm either, as best I can tell, Maximus or Mervon. It's still not abundantly clear on which one I am. And my colleagues here are Bennington and Whiskey, but again, there's a confusion of names and identities, and one of us or all three of us may be dead, maybe ghosts.
I'm Anne. I'm definitely dead. I mean, I'm a cat. I'm not dead. I was an elf and a human. Yeah. I mean, hey, when the heavens are dropping fire, you just gotta dodge.
Fennis will climb up from wherever he is so that he can look this llama person directly in the eyes as he says, I am Fennis Lightwall. You may not be able to tell from my current form, but I once was a teacher of some high regard. It's nice to meet you, and I feel a very strong urge to speak in a Western accent.
Well, I mean, nice to meet you cats too. It's very strange. You're dead or in cat form, but you are other people. I mean, well, this sounds like typical fire-breathing kitten stuff, honestly. I mean, like, my friend's in the fire-breathing kittens, and sometimes I catch up with her and she tells me, like, weird things. I don't know, maybe she's around and she can help with it. You guys know Sadie?
Cough. Nope. Nope. She's definitely... Actually, yes, I've met her and she's... Wait, nope.
So you know Sadie and you don't know Sadie. Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen her around in a little while. I don't know. If you see her, say hi to me for her then.
Oh,
say
yes.
Hi to her
I
for
know
me
Sadie. Oh, I believe
Thou
that...
hast aimed so near. Aren't y'all not raven for food? We should head over to the guild hall. It has a chef.
Oh, yes, I'm very hungry.
I'm going to sniff the air to figure out what they're cooking.
Okay. I mean, you guys are pretty close by now. You're almost there, in fact. It's just taking you a while because it's harder for her to walk with Maximus on her leg.
And the weight of one of the cats having gotten her friend killed, in theory, weighs heavily on her shoulders.
Figuratively and literally.
She wouldn't know that, of course. the weight of knowledge, of heavy knowledge, not shared, it weighs her down too.
The Bilbos of knowledge. Bilbos means fetters. I'm cackling like a biddy over here.
Oh my god.
I have a vocab list and I will learn it.
Wonderful. Enlighten us all. Bilbos of knowledge. Is that where the Bilbo Baggins comes from? Like, probably.
Dude, he's like a burden on the whole party. Oh, I mean, funny.
Yeah. Yep. It's true.
What a bootless person. Bootless is useless. Continue to the fire-breathing kittens hall.
Right. You wanted to know what was being cooked. Max,
yeah,
so
but I feel like we should have the disclaimer. We are in no way disparaging Lord of the Rings or any of the trilogy. They're lovely stories. Bilbo was but also Bilbo was a bit of a drag on everybody. So okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, like roll to see how well you can smell it. I guess if you're trying to smell it.
And I'm running with the cat skill, and I rolled a 1 and a 2, so I got 2 very good scores.
Yeah, so you can identify. They are making right now like this beef stew, and you know exactly what vegetables there are in it. Like there's potatoes, there's carrots, there's onion, there's even celery, and oh yeah, there's also crisp melon in it. That's like a hybrid between Honeycrisp apple and a melon. It's a weird fruit that they include in it just for a special of the day. You can also sense that it has tarragon and bay leaf in it. So you know exactly what's cooking. It's a very weird mixture with like,
I
it smells
recount this
interesting.
verbatim, every single ingredient, with this right level of disgust for each one.
Okay, you chuff. That's enough detail. I'm glad I don't have a nose as strong as yours.
It's kind of a little weird. I wanted to ask you about that, Chef. I haven't had a meal there yet because, I mean, I joined, I died, I ended up a cat, and now I'm hoping to undie. But he kind of seems a little... Is he trained?
Who, the chef?
Yes, the chef.
It must be someone that they just recently hired, or just someone who likes to experiment adding melons to stews.
That coistrel adding a melon to a stew.
Yeah. So yeah, this chef would be an orc woman or a half orc woman. It's hard to tell. She looks more orcish than half orc. Must be recently hired. Must be, I don't know. She seems like she doesn't really know what's going on. So are you like asking her?
I was just more curious because that was the oddest stew mixture, and I just wanted to know where her melon-centric cooking was coming from. That's all.
Duns the mouse, Maximus. You'll insult the chef.
Oh, you're right. I apologize. I'm sure, again, I'm not as familiar with orcish cuisine. That is, again, on me, and I have been remiss in how I have treated people that look different than me today. Again, I'm sorry. I'm emotionally upset about being a possible dead cat.
A live cat, a dead hippo.
Not better. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel better about that.
I'm not trying to fleer you. I'll pat you. I'll cat rub against you. It's when I rub my back, like from head to the base of my tail, along my spine, trying to comfort you.
I
Fennis
appreciate
has,
that.
in the time that we've been moving, just kept going up and down on his claws, just trying to maneuver around, and now he's just sort of hanging upside down. And at this point, he remarks, well, I really hope that I'm staying on the optimistic side, that is, that there is still a chance we can return to our living bodies. I still have quite a few outstanding debts that I need to outpay, or rather repay.
I don't think they can legally collect from you after you're dead. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a simple hippo. But as far as I know, they cannot collect from you, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yes, you've fobbed the system.
That is very true. But it would be very remiss of me to not pay back the debts that I myself accrued. It's my moral obligation, you see. It would certainly be rather remiss of me as an educator to pass on that kind of lesson to children, if I were responsible for any, but the hypothetical children, if you will.
I'm sure your body is not fusting away. It's probably not even forded. It's perhaps just empty. Let's find it. What cat skill do you have again, Fennis?
My cat skill is jumping.
Okay. Yeah. What's the plan, everybody? We're gonna find our bodies? Oh, I know. Nulisag will know what job we were on the canal job, right? We already know that. Okay, so let's just go there and then retrace our steps from there to the guild hall, and our bodies will be somewhere on that path, right?
Probably.
Do I remember where the canal was?
Yeah, like you can retrace your steps and kind of like think back to where you were and like going there. You feel pretty confident that you would find a way to get there. But right now you are inside the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, because by the time that you guys were like discussing this, our friend Lika had already opened the door and inside, and she says, okay, well, now you guys are in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall. If you mind, I do have a meeting I need to go to, kind of important, and I guess I'll need to get a new suit because this one's torn up by cat claws. But yep, anyways, here you are. Then she kind of just gestures for y'all to hop off of her.
I attempt to bow to her as best a cat can, but it really just looks like I'm stretching out, kind of like clawing the floor in front of me.
She's like, aw, that's cute. And then kind of like gives you your head a rub and then leaves. Much faster now that she doesn't have a cat on her leg and one on her shoulders and all the bilbos of knowledge. I almost said a different word there. Okay, so you guys are now inside the guild hall. You see that there's a Nusi working at the bar as usual. There's just a bunch of random people. Like, some of them you may know, some of them are your colleagues, some of them are just people that come in to try the chef special. They're gonna get a bit of a surprise for this one. And Nusi looks at you all having just climbed off of a llama, just like, and then goes back to cleaning the bar because she's seen stranger things.
We don't see our bodies here, right? I assume that would be very obvious if there were 3 torsos and what's yeah.
Nope, you do not see your bodies there. But you like thinking back of retracing your steps. This is actually where you were when you right before you switched bodies. You were back in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, meeting with someone to give you the reward, or like waiting to meet with someone to give you the reward.
That Hilding, they have taken our bodies. Who were we supposed to meet? Do you remember? In all the hurly-burly, I've forgotten.
You remember right before you got the reward, right before you were about to get the reward, and right before you blacked out, you remember seeing this guy who looks almost like, at first glance, like a normal human, but walks a little bit stiffly and has really kind of unkempt long hair. Yeah, just looks like he doesn't really care about his appearance. He's like super monotone and almost like he stands out in terms of how drab he is. As soon as you looked into your eyes and he looked into your eyes, there was just this kind of nothingness, and then there was suddenly a void that emanated from within his eyes outward to you, and you suddenly blacked out and found yourself in the alley as a cat.
Oh, I see. The strange alien man from before. I'd seen him once before, but that was the man that we met for the reward. It seems quite likely that he might be behind our current state.
A strange alien man?
Well, I don't really know exactly what he is, but he had a bunch of metal segways type deal, and there were a lot of like lasers and buttons. I pressed a lot of buttons. One of them made a toilet flush. But the important thing is that he is likely the heinous villain behind this nefarious situation that has gotten us trapped in these adorable bodies.
You seem to be embracing this cat thing, frankly, maybe a little too much. I'm just saying. Look, I'm not saying you're not adorable. It's you. Like the beans are look, they're cute. I get it. But this fellow, why would he do this?
I can't say that I really know. It was only the one other time that I'd ever encountered him, and if I'm being honest, I'm quite drawing a blank as to how I could draw a link from sending a theater into space to making us all cats, but I suppose he must have some sort of plan in mind. I imagine this couldn't have been by accident.
And he's obviously quite skilled. You said he made a button that flushed a toilet. Honestly, that's really quite impressive.
Oh, yes, I know. If that were the button that I were intending to press, then that would have been a very helpful thing to happen. But, again, perhaps not relevant to the current situation.
So how do we find him?
I don't know. Perhaps we could ask someone around? He is rather recognizable. He's a rather messy individual. Honestly, I'm quite the type to encourage general hygiene and outward presentation, so I can't say I quite agree with it, but to each his own. It makes him stand out. So perhaps there's someone around here who's seen him.
I'm going to jump up on the nearest counter and, as loud as you possibly can, request, "Excuse me, has anyone seen a disheveled alien?"
Okay, because you're not like directing your question to anyone particular,
Nope.
what happens is that you jump up into the counter, you just meow loudly, and then you just get like, you just get at least, you get like 5 people like just suddenly look in your direction and then just be like, what? And then just go back to their meal. And then Nisi, the bartender, because you jumped up on the bar that she was cleaning, she says, okay, what's going on here? Do you need some food or something like this? I can give you some food. And then she reaches behind the counter and just grabs some like jerky that she has on hand.
Oh, I'm eating that jerky. There's no question about it.
Okay. Do you just eat it from the bag? Like, do you just try to take the bag, or do you wait for her to leave it on the counter first?
Oh,
or
no, it's cat move head directly into the bag while at the same time attempting to ask this question again. So it comes out a lot like, have you, hold on, have disheveled earlier. And then I raise up, bag probably still stuck on my head, trying to eat the jerky.
Could you tell her to let me have some as well? The current adorable body that in which I inhabit is quite famished.
Ravenously famished.
I'm going to attempt to wing the bag off and scatter the jerky for all. As a good leader would.
Then Nisi just says, okay, yeah, you can have it all. I mean, polish it. Go ahead. Clean it all. You look like some stray cats who could use it. Yeah, go ahead. Just get off my counter, please. I was just cleaning that. And she kind of just tries to like push you off the counter. Do you go off the counter or do you stay?
Oh, I'm staying. I'm getting answers.
Okay, so now do you direct like do you still try to like direct your question to the general everyone in general, or do you like try to ask her?
I probably, because I'm facing her now, I would probably just ask her. Have you seen a disheveled alien? Kind of, I don't know really how else to describe him. Fennis, could you give us a little more insight into this fellow, please?
Yes, of course, I will certainly do so. But I just finished eating, so I think I'll take a nap, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. And he stretches out and lies down.
Such a cat thing.
He will get back to you tomorrow, I believe is what he said. Hold on one second. I'm going to jump down and try to reason with Fennis. Excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt what you're doing here, because I respect a good nap as much as anybody, and you've honestly, the angle of that light coming in the window, you have found an excellent spot, and kudos. If I had thumbs, I would give you a thumbs up. But could you hold the nap till after the description?
So Fennis kind of stares for one moment and goes, "Oh yes, that's right. We need to get back to our original bodies, of course. Yes, I'd forgotten I wasn't a cat. Apologies." So I turn and I just say, "Yes, excuse me, we are looking for a rather drab, disheveled man with dull yellow eyes and a monotonous voice who speaks as if the world has died. Could you please direct us in this man's direction, if possible?"
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's yeah, okay, I remember someone like this coming in. Nusi says, just kind of, again, cleaning the counter because there's now bits of jerky and bits of the bag on it. Yeah, there was someone who came in like this. He was gonna pay some fire-breathing kittens. I think it was Sadie, Mervon, and Fennis. Wait, you sound like Fennis and you sound like Mervon. That's weird. Okay.
Meow.
Yes, that is a coincidence. They have the same names as us as well, it seems.
So, wait, you're saying that you're Fennis and you're Mervon?
Meow.
That is the name that was given to me at birth.
Well, I mean, that's weird because, I mean, you were looking like humanoids earlier when he paid you, or when he said that he was going to pay you. He basically just, he came in, he took a table, said that he was just going to do some business with some fire-breathing kittens, and then as soon as he came, he decided to take you somewhere else. He said, "Okay, follow me, and you'll get your payment. Like, I'll just take you outside for it." Which, I mean, you did. You kind of followed very, like, almost like him, you know, like very out of it, very not disheveled because you guys take care of yourselves better than that.
I should
But yeah,
think
you
so.
just kind of followed him outside. And after that, I don't know where he went. You guys all just disappeared, so I assumed everything was fine. But now your cats?
Yeah, it's decidedly not fine. I mean, this is what we're trying to say.
I mean, it's pretty common that people just get their reward somewhere else. But yeah, okay. Yeah, so this happened like a few hours ago, around noon. Now it's around like 3:30, 4 p.m., something like that. So, yeah, happened 3 hours ago that he left with you guys looking normal.
Did they mention anything about where they were going or in what fashion?
Well, he said just down the road. Yeah, he just said, I'll just take you down the road and I'll give you your payment. And you guys agreed.
Never go to a second location.
Funny thing is, you guys don't remember actually, yeah, like the moment that your memory cut off is right when you saw him. You saw him getting it from the table and then it cuts off.
So you're saying we walked outside with him voluntarily?
I mean, it looked like it. You guys just followed him.
And I don't recall anything after we just saw him. Do y'all know, can he do that? Could he make us do that?
Oh, so you're saying that you didn't go with him voluntarily? Like, you guys just seem to... I mean, maybe it's like some kind of mind control thing or something. I mean...
To my memory, he was a man of rather mysterious means. I'm not fully aware of the extent of his abilities. It's not out of the ballpark, I would say.
Well, this seems bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned about this. Do we, I guess we should try to figure out where you would have taken us. And I'm going to jump down and try to go outside and rely on either being able to smell and track, but several hours later, probably unlikely. But 800-pound hippo, I got to think footprints are likely.
We're tracking ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are tracking
Yes,
yourselves.
I think I would recognize my own footprints, possibly.
Okay, so I need everyone who's trying to track themselves to roll for me. It depends on whether you're using a cat skill or not. I'll give you an extra dice because this is very relevant to your goal. So you definitely get 2d6 to roll. And if you're using your cat skill or psychic skill for it, then add another d6. And like, tell me which one you're using so I know whether it's higher or lower is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm just using like a cat skill, like basically trying to hunt prey, basically.
Definitely cat thing.
So let's be clear with terms. Cat skill is your special cat skill.
Right.
Right. So you're not using that, right?
Right. I'm just using a standard cat
roll.
Cat stuff.
cat characteristic.
A cat roll. Okay.
Yeah. And I failed miserably on both rolls.
Ooh.
Well, Fennis has done quite well. I rolled 2d6s and got a 1 and a 2.
Oh, that is good.
Nice.
I did not roll.
You did not roll. Okay.
You're a little too comfortable being a cat. This body jumping thing is just way too comfortable for you.
It's quite nice, but I do prefer my original body.
The other one does have a longer lifespan. Maybe I should try to get back to it.
Yeah, but this one has 9, so...
Ooh, I mean, we all... Getting to pick the vizards we wear. What luck.
Okay, so you Whiskey slash Fennis. Yeah, I'll just refer to you as the cats for now because you're technically in the cats bodies. So Whiskey. Oh, is that it? Okay? Whiskey, you managed to find basically everyone's footprints. You recognize them among all the other footprints that are in the that are along the street, along with another set that, of course, you don't recognize, but you imagine must be that guy who paid you. It's so it goes down the road, and it turns into it goes down the road, and there's actually a small park nearby, and it goes into the park behind the cover of some trees, and then disappears.
Okay. So we followed the whole track through, and we're just at the end of it in that park?
Yep, you were just at the end of it in that park. You notice that where the tracks end, there is this weird sort of circle around it, like a circle in the plants where all the tracks are. There, it's kind of like maybe 10-foot wide, 10-foot diameter circle. Yeah, and then this is north of the Fry Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, like up the road, about halfway to Half Elf Town.
What have you found, Fennis?
Oh, well, it appears that this is where our footprints end. I can't see any more leading from here, so I can only assume that either we were turned into dust right here or we were moved somewhere else. I hope it's the latter.
I'm going to look for large piles of dust.
Okay.
I mean, he suggested it. I have no option.
I
Go
suppose
ahead.
I'll just look around as well.
I rolled exactly my perimeter score again.
Ooh. Okay. So, having rolled exactly your perimeter, that is actually a great thing for the situation. So you did not find any large pile of dust, but looking around and trying to sense this connection, trying to grasp through straws at anything you might figure out or know, you have the distinct feeling that your body is somewhere. And your senses, for some reason, it's saying, go north.
So I didn't find any dust, so that's good news. I don't think that we have been turned to dust, but we're somewhere, at least near-ish. I think we need to go north.
Okay, well, that seems as good an option as any other. So, yeah, let's go north.
Yeah. And are you standing in or near this, like, basically crop circle? The rest of you, Bennington and Whiskey? Or is it just Max?
I'm sitting in the middle of it with my eyes closed, listening, my ears twitching.
You can actually hear like this faint little, this faint humming sound that feels, it's a resonance that's different than like the resonance of, I guess, existence. Because, there's just vibrations everywhere. Yeah, so that's what you hear. You have a sort of special connection to this place where where the tracks disappear. And you can feel that too. You can feel this kind of tug that draws you north. And you, Whiskey, are you near the circle too? Because if you are, then you would be feeling it too. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be feeling it as strong.
I would probably be wandering around the area of the circle looking for anything, since that's where the tracks ended.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, Fennis? Do you hear that? I'm going to try to roll a summoning roll. I think this
Okay.
is the spot.
All right.
Okay, because I think there are greebles here. So I'm going to try to summon a greeble, which is 3 dice.
Yeah.
Please don't pounce
trying
into
to roll
garbage again. That would be
over.
very unfortunate.
I'm trying to roll over. I have a 2, and I rolled a 1, and a 3, which, all right. So if 1 dice succeeds, I barely manage it. The GM describes a tiny bit of chaos ensuing or getting wilder, because what I'm trying to do is rip open the fabric of reality with my cat claws and pounce on the greeble that I can always hear, and like sometimes I stare at a wall and everyone like bipedal just looks at me like, why are you staring at that wall? And I'm like, can't you hear it? And they're like, it's a wall. I'm like, it's there. I want to catch it finally. I think this is the place.
Okay. I mean, because one of your dice rolls is a success, that's good. And then one of them is a 2, right? So that's exactly your perimeter. So then that's a...
No.
Oh, no?
It was higher, lower.
Oh, okay. So none of them were a 2. Okay. So higher, lower. Yeah. So because you got 1 higher, you do manage to catch a greeble. Do you want me to describe it, or do you describe it?
You can pick. I've done some summons in the past, and they're mostly just Pokemon. So you can go ahead, pick whatever you want. Any little magical creature.
Well, because this is a spot where some weird activity happened, it does look very alien-like. You just get this tiny little miniature person, like a very typical alien, except instead of having green skin, it has pink skin. It has like this really bright neon pink, almost glowing skin, and its eyes are glowing green. So, yeah, you just summoned a tiny little alien.
I pounce and I catch a pink in my mouth. I'm carrying the pink in my mouth. I kick it, but of course my feet don't reach it. And I'm like, kill, kill, kill. But then I stop and I'm like, I've caught it. It's not dead.
So what do you do with greebles once you summon them?
Now you are my greeble. This is my weapon in the game.
I see. Okay. All right, then I'll describe how some chaos ensues. So doing that, catching that greeble, ripping open the fabric of reality, out of that rip, you see something else or someone else come. And this is a fire genasi. She seems to be about 45-ish years old, something like that. And out she pops out of this terror of reality and says, oh, okay, what's going on here? Wait, you're cats? How did a cat do this? This is some advanced level magic. What? And, Fennis and Whiskey's body recognize this as one of your students. One of the ones who actually disappeared.
Oh.
Her name is Somerset. Summer, I believe.
Oh, Miss Somerset. Well, this is quite fortuitous. How have you been doing?
Oh, you're a cat, but you sound like Fennis. Somerset Sunset is the name, not Summers. She says, it worked then. Oh my God, it worked. Like all of the random experiments and weird field trips. Finally, I had just the right amount of chaos to mess with his plans. It worked. You're inside a cat now. Okay. Thank goodness.
I seem to be on a bit of the back foot as far as important contextual information is concerned. As far as I recall, none of my previous field trips and experiments quite led up to much. What is happening?
Wow, this is all okay. Well, first of all, I'm free, and because this worked, I can help you get free too. And this is a good spot to take a break. Little cliffhanger.
Hey. Great.
Okay, so joining us so far were Maximus.
Hi, how's it going?
Mervon as Maximus, Fennis as Whiskey.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Once again, I'm not sure what's going on.
And Anne as Bennington.
Meow.
All right. We'll take a short break and we recommence once more after that.
Leave us a review on iTunes. We'll read it on air. Bye.
Bye-bye.
In this episode, we'd like to thank Atian, A-Tian, for using the website Buy Me a Coffee to support the show. Thank you, Atian. Everyone, you can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com through our partnership with Buy Me a Coffee. You can buy us a coffee, or you can write 50 words for us to write, whatever you'd like. We also have paperback, ebook, hardcover, and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible. Lastly, we don't pay to advertise our show, so the only way we can grow is if you tell someone about us. Is there an episode that would make someone you know smile? Tell them about it. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens. We took a short break, and now we're ready to jump into the second part of this adventure. So I'll need everyone to just roll a quick dice to see who is going to get the honor of the recap.
5.
5.
Oh, yes. So whoever got closest to, okay. So, all right, what did you guys roll, the rest of you?
I also got a 5.
As did I.
You guys all got a 5.
Yep.
The heck?
Roll again.
Yeah.
That was very statistically unlikely.
3.
Yeah.
I also
5
rolled a 3.
No.
5 again.
Okay. Okay, so you know what? Because you rolled differently than the other two, you get to do the recap. Mervon/Maximus.
Yes, so we woke up in an alley. We were in cat form, which is unexpected for everybody involved. We had, Mervon had a minor panic attack. Sadie decided to attack a pile of garbage. I believe that's right. Fennis completely did not realize he was a cat at any one point and just assumed that all cats recognized every other living creature as a cat. At that point, we realized that maybe things were not going the way we wanted them to, which led us out toward the street, leading Maximus to take a nap before retreating back to the group. The understanding was that maybe we had gotten pulled into these bodies, might be dead. That was a bomb that was dropped on us by Sadie out of just utter terror for all of us, before finding a nice llama woman who decided, was inspired to, if you will, transport us to the Fire-Breathing Kittens Guild. At that point, upon entering the guild, we discovered that it appears that we might have been body napped by somebody, a former, let's say, an encounter for Fennis that hopefully we'll be able to determine what's going on there. Fennis was able to track our path to a park north of town near the half-elf, if I remember correctly, city, leading us to what I'm going to call a fairy circle. I don't really have a better answer for it. And to which Sadie decided to rip a hole in the space-time continuum, releasing what apparently is a greeble, which is in this case is a pink alien, which she carted around in her mouth, resulting in also a fire genasi stepping through. Luckily, a not hostile fire genasi, but a former student of Fennis, who said that she'd been able to escape. And that's where we kind of left off.
Yep.
Anybody want to feel free to spice that up? Oh, and there was apparently weird food involving stew with melon in it, which I'm not really feeling good about. So maybe I'm just shutting that off.
Understandable. It was quite a strange smell, and you could smell every single ingredient in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys left off with this like fire genasi having stumbled out of this weird rip in the space-time continuum. Her and Fennis being in the body of a cat, recognizing each other. And then she just kind of said some cryptic things about like, oh my God, it worked and I'm going to set you guys free. But she seems to be like, she's like not speaking super coherently as far as you can tell. So like, I don't know. She's not telling you exactly what's going on at the moment.
Okay. Well, the first thing that Fennis is going to do is because he could recognize his former student and he cares a good deal about their mental health. So the first thing he's going to do is try to make sure that she's calm. Just say, Miss Somerset, please try to steady your breathing. You appear to be in some level of distress or maybe on a high of coming off of a load of distress. Just speak clearly to us.
Yeah, distress is like, doesn't even begin to cover it. Yeah, so like you asked me what I'd been doing like ever since I graduated from the academy. Well, I mean, I never got a chance to graduate because I don't know what happened. One day I was walking home from class and then the next moment I was in this warehouse with like a bunch of other students, and this man, he's kind of scary. He's like really he speaks like he has no life in him. He looks like he has no life in him, yet he's still alive. He's like he's almost like this walking, almost like a dead person, but I don't know. He has like these pale yellow eyes, really disheveled, like he hasn't bathed in a long time, but he doesn't smell, or it smells a bit like sweet. I don't know how to describe it.
Oh, the alien man. Oh, yes, you wouldn't know that, but I think I know who you're speaking of.
Yeah, you know him?
I don't know much about him. He was on a screen controlling a bunch of weird Segway-looking metal creatures, and saying a lot of things about not being worthy to a lot of my friends and to me in a very rude way, but he seems to be some sort of villain, I assume.
Yeah, so, I mean, he wants to, he's basically what happened is I escaped as, I escaped as he was trying to actually summon you guys, because he's looking for people who have capabilities, like magical capabilities or just some kind of thing. Yeah, some special abilities, powerful people that he can just control. He talks about he wants to be like the perfect leader. He wants to control everything. He wants everything to exist. I don't really know exactly, but it's a lot of scary stuff. And I just, as long as I was able to hold on to my consciousness, I essentially messed up his spell that he was going to cast. And like, while he was transporting you to him, I swapped you for some other random creatures that were not far away. And I guess it worked, see, because now you're cats. So he has your, so I think what happens is he has your bodies, but they're the cat souls in them. So he doesn't have you. And that buys us some time. Like that's what I tried to do. And it looks like it worked. I got shunted to this weird void thing with all these colors. It was so pink inside of it. I don't know. It was just all bright pink. And now I'm here after a cat dragged me out of here. Literally.
Out of character, I imagine that the real Sadie briefly woke up, was being alien abducted, and was like, nah, and just like went back into the depths of her subconscious again. Oh, is it time to come out? No. Right back down.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess he'll be looking for me and he'll be trying to figure out why the hell you guys are acting like cats. But you have some time.
There's a hippo just licking its hand like,
I imagine that would be of some level of confusion to him. Well, there shouldn't be anything to worry about now. We've got it handled. We're accomplished adventurers. I think I am. Miss Sadie, or Miss Anne, I suppose, here is as well. And the Mr. Cat over here, I don't recall. Did you introduce yourself to me?
Yeah, but look, it's been a confusing day. I'm not going to hold anybody responsible for not remembering. It's, you can call me Mervon or apparently Maximus, or really at this point, I don't even know what to call me.
Oh, okay. I shall call you Mervius then.
I like Mervius.
Yeah. I have a younger brother named Mervian. I call him Merv, and that might be a bit confusing if I were to call you the same thing, so Mervius would work best.
That'll work.
Okay, and yes, Mr. Mervius over here. We're accomplished adventurers, and we shall take care of it. And Fennis puts his little cat paw on his little cat chest as he says this.
Aw, that's such a cute image.
We're hardened adventurers.
So since you've got this under control, Fennis, what do we do now?
I have no idea.
That flies directly in the face of what you just said. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm sure it will work out somehow. Perhaps we were going to go north before. Perhaps things will still happen if we go north.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay. Yeah, so summer is set. She kind of hear you guys saying and like, okay, well, I mean, you guys good luck. It was nice running into you, Prof. But once again, like, literally, I think it's your weird school trips that people were always complaining about that actually made me be able to tap into this chaos magic and like mess up all his spells. So like, thank you for that. Now I can escape and I'll try to learn magic a different way. Not at Stunton. Anyways, good luck. And
Fair
then she
enough.
kind of just runs off.
Well, be on your way.
I don't think she's going to leave you a great student evaluation. I'm going to be honest, that didn't seem to go well.
Well, I wasn't exactly popular before, but I remain loyal to my students, or more specifically, their futures.
That's really what's most important.
Yes, of course. And to make sure that we all have futures, we should continue heading north.
To north. My little kitty
Absolutely.
paws. They go.
Let's move those beans.
Okay, so yeah, ever since you guys had gone into that crop circle, fairy circle, whatever you want to call it, you guys had like established this sort of connection between what you assume is like yourselves and your bodies, and that is almost like a migratory bird telling it which direction is north. It's telling you to head that way too. So you guys all head northwards. So yeah, people don't really remark on any alley cats, like 3 alley cats, just mind their own business walking. However, because this is a game of psychic cat chaos and it's all about chaos, let's just everyone roll just to see how much chaos you get into just by by walking north. Going through this half elf town, because things can happen.
So what are we rolling for specifically?
This is just a chaos check. Essentially.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 1.
4.
I have 1, 4. Okay, and I'll say this is like a cat check. So I have 1, 4. So 2 of you guys rolled above and 1 of you rolled under. So like a little bit of chaos ensues. So as you guys are walking, it had been partially sunny, partially cloudy, but now it starts to get like really cloudy, and it actually starts to rain. So yeah, for Bennington, this is actually a good thing, because Bennington had been covered in this mix of garbage and rat corpses that it kept on getting itself into. So yeah, you get to wash off if you like the water. Yeah, how do you guys like the rain? You guys want to like get out of it, like wash yourselves in it? Don't mind it? Like, yeah, it's raining really hard.
Bennington is discovering that puddles are unpleasant after trying to wash himself off in one.
Whiskey is definitely very bristled. He just sort of like shivers all over, and Fennis himself feels the strong urge to get out of the rain as soon as possible and dash for the nearest tree.
Okay.
Oh, and Mervon 100% is like looking for a deep puddle to swim in.
Okay, so
it's hippo characteristics taking over.
Oh, this should be fun then. So then you go look for a deep puddle. Well, you managed to find one soon enough, because it is raining quite hard. Yeah, and then Whiskey like looks for a tree. But the thing is, you guys are out of this park and back in Half Elf Town by now. So the nearest tree would be like down the street a little bit, like out of the ways of where you were gonna get to. And then Bennington, do you go in the same deep puddle that Mervon, that Maximus does?
You can see, like, if slow motion were available to you, you can see the moment when I regret that. And like my body's still going into the puddle as my head is like, no. And with much splashing, I reverse trajectory.
Just rocket backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Maximus just drifts out, like when you see a hippo swimming, it's just the nostrils, eyes, and like the middle of the back above, just like floating through the puddle.
Yeah, so all right, you guys are soaking wet with the exception of Whiskey, who's only moderately wet, and bristling in a tree. Yeah, like eventually, as soon as like your cat like chaos instincts kind of die down, and you remember your mission, you keep on heading north, and this takes you out of Half Elf Town, and in this kind of bad area. It's like one of those sketchy industrial warehouse sort of areas. So you guys definitely feel like it's not a good place. You wanna try to, your instinct is to try to stick to the shadows and avoid being seen. Just not very conducive to drying off necessarily.
I'm gonna try to, I think, track our body, or at least my body again. And I think I'm going to try to use my cat ability, my strong sense of smell, to see if I can detect what I would imagine. I have a pretty good feeling of what I smell like.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And I rolled a 3 and a 2, so I rolled 2 underneath, both of them beneath my perimeter score.
Both of them are under your perimeter score, and that's good for doing cat stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, those are 2 successes. That's a categorical success. So that means that you managed to...
Categorical?
Exactly. Categorical success.
So can you insert a drum, a little bump there?
No, I refuse.
Fine.
I'll just do it.
There we go.
There's one for you.
Yeah. So yeah, you managed to, using your sense of smell, despite the rain, making it a little bit muddy for you, you have such a keen sense of smell that you not only remember what Mervon smells like, you do pick up his scent. It's faint, but it's there. It means that you must be like within maybe 500 feet of where they are. So yeah, you're in this sort of industrial area. You're 500 feet to where they could be, or at least where he last was.
Okay, we're nearby. I'm not exactly sure where, but close. No more than a few hundred feet away. We were here.
Okay. Well, if this is the spot, then now would be a good time to take a pause, and take a good look around.
Or a good listen around. I'm going to try to roll for hearing.
Okay.
That's 2d6, right? Because I have a cat skill of hearing and a d6 if I'm taking in just a normal action.
Yep. That would be 2d6.
Ooh, that's a 3 and a 6. If none of your dice succeed, it all goes wrong. The GM describes more chaos or how the current chaos gets worse. I'm going to stop listening for things, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have like, you're much better suited to the psychic stuff. That's for sure.
And I have a greeble now.
Yeah, you have a greeble now.
I'm dumb.
Yeah, so, I mean, you try to listen for, like, any sounds of, like, you, but, I mean, you don't hear anything. I mean, yeah, obviously, no, actually, you hear way too much. That's the problem. Like, you hear the rain, you hear some shouts like, "Oi, look over there, it's 3 cats," and you think you hear a greeble.
Oh, you definitely hear a greeble. Like, it's in your mouth screaming. There's no doubt you hear a greeble.
You hear that greeble, and then you might hear another one. Who knows?
Oh, no.
My ears and my eyes are wide, like I'm on crack, and my ears are going like in all directions, and then earplane ears.
Definitely overwhelmed. That's what the 2 failures, I put that in quotation marks, gets you. So yeah, like, you think you might hear a greeble. Do you like chase it, or do you focus on the other thing that I just said?
Turn around, full speed, right into wall.
Oh my god. I can just imagine a cat just like with this pink alien in its mouth, just dashing right into a wall, turning around. Oh, that's hilarious.
Miss Anne, did you hear me? I said take a pause. Holding up my paw. I made a cat pun, but it was also genuine advice.
I'm knocked out. I've knocked myself out just for a second, like 5, and then I'm back.
Do you lose your greeble?
No.
I'm just saying. So how many buildings are around us that are in that, like, that we can see that are in that 500-foot range?
I would say they're about, I mean, warehouses and factories and stuff are pretty big. So there is like maybe, you're kind of in an alley between 2 of them, and there are another couple that are slightly farther out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so you do hear like the, "Oi, there's 3 cats. What are they doing here?" And you see like 3 just, 3 fairly big human men. Like, to you guys, they're huge. Even to you, Maximus, you're a big, chunky cat. But, like, the people, they're so much taller and so much scarier. Your friend has already knocked herself out.
Do they seem scary, or?
Yeah, they seem pretty scary. They're like this area kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies, and then these guys are like kind of like your typical thugs.
Gotcha. I'm going to look for either like a window or a door that's ajar, somewhere that I could duck into a building.
Okay. All right. You using psychic or cat skill or like a cat stuff?
This is going to be a cat, like look around basically.
Okay. I mean, you can roll if you want to, or I can just like tell you.
It's your call. I rolled a 6, which is terrible for this. So do with that as you will.
You're like looking around for a window or something like this, and you see a window, but it's like high up and it's barred. So I mean, you can you figure that your only ways to escape are like to run back where you came from, or to try to run past them and outrun them, or you remember that you have this ability to manipulate people's thoughts. That's could be another way you can. So you find no windows, but
I go into a panic, and then I'm going to suggest that one of the guys tackles the other two. So I'm going to try to do a psychic control on him, if you will, or suggestion, if you will.
Okay, this should be interesting. Okay, that'll be rolling 2 things because that is your psychic.
That is a 5 and a 6.
5 and a 6, and you have to roll over, right?
Above, yeah.
Oh my god, that's like again a categorical success.
Hey.
So, out of curiosity, which one are you? Just so I can describe how this plays out. Are you saying this to the one in the middle, or the one on the or one of the sides?
Whichever one's closer. So I'm going to guess the one in the middle is kind of probably leading the charge in. And I think I run toward him and then stop probably like 10 feet short with that message of, hey, take these 2 guys out.
Okay, this is funny. So, like these big thug human guys like come up and they're like, oh, it's 3 cats. What are they doing here? And then suddenly, like, the guy in the middle, he sees you, he hears you saying, hey, turn on your friends here, they're your enemies. He looks over and says, oi, it's 2 thugs here. And then you just see, like, this guy start fighting, like, both of them at once. He just, like, knocks their heads together, and they just start, like, a 3-way brawl between them.
Nice.
in the rain. Yeah. It's pretty epic.
And then I'm like, Whiskey, Bennington, come on, we got to get past these guys.
I try to follow. Do I successfully follow?
I'd say yeah. Like you're a bit dazed, but these guys are causing such a commotion amongst themselves that you're able to like slip past them and follow.
Whiskey.
Yes.
Bye, I guess.
I will follow along.
Okay. So do you go around the building back the way you came, or do you go around the building like past them?
Past them.
Okay. Yeah, you go past them, and you can sense your psychic senses telling you that but yeah, you feel that connection once again between yourselves and irregular bodies. Yeah, it's telling you that you need to go into yeah, it's telling you guys that you guys are very close. It's in one of the buildings. It's in the it's in the larger building. One that looks if you look at it, it looks kind of dilapidated, abandoned. It's scary.
Is there a cat door?
A cat door?
Yes, a flap of plastic, or I imagine leaves, smaller than a raccoon. Very critical.
There's definitely not a cat door, so then like where you can see it. But like, do you go around and look for one?
I'm looking for a cat-sized entrance.
So you're looking for a cat-sized entrance. Okay. All right. I would say that's something that you can roll for since you are searching for it.
I'm going to make my greeble do it, which will make this magic, which will make me have a 4 success instead of a 1 success.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Let's do that. So then, yeah, I would say you roll 2 dice since you're using your greeble.
Hey, a 4. I got a success.
So is it like 1 success and 1 failure, or 2 successes?
Mm-hmm. 1 failure.
Okay. So, in that case, Yeah, there are no entrances that are meant for cats. You spend like a little bit of time going around looking for one. But you do find there is an opening that you might be able to get to, but it's like this vent near the top of the building, not quite on the roof, but like under the roof. You can tell it's a vent because there is a bird's nest that you can see in it, like with some of the sticks kind of tumbling down to it. That is the only small entrance that you can find to this building. Obviously, there are a few doors that you can get in through, and there's also a really big door for carriages and carts to get in and out. But in terms of small cat-sized entrances, that would be one of them. It's high up and might require some special stuff to get to.
I point to Fennis where my greeble is trying to escape. Fennis, quick, jump and get it. It can't escape from me.
Ah, yes. An opportunity to jump. I shall do so.
Right, and because your cat skill is jumping, so you would be very good at this.
Yes, very fortuitous that such a situation would arise.
That's funny. As a GM, I'd actually forgotten about that. It just it was just the extra failure dice that made that made me like complicate a little bit. Yeah, that's great. So I think you can actually roll. You can choose to roll another dice if you want. You can roll 2 dice or you can roll 3 dice because this kind of relates to your goal. You're trying to get into the building, and this would be cat stuff. So you want to roll underneath, I believe.
Okay. I rolled a 3, a 6, and a 1.
3, a 6, and a 1. So that's 1 success, 1 equal to the number, and 1 extra chaos dice. I'll call it that.
Yep.
All right. So
every possible thing that could happen from that has happened.
Exactly. So you manage to jump up and like grab onto the vent. But there is a bird's nest in it, which you manage to just like with your back paws like swing yourself into it and just knock the whole bird's nest right into the like deeper into the vent. And you just hear it like clatter and then like some birds squawking as they as they just suddenly go like flying down this slide. You make a bit of a commotion.
I love that as a cat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Best sound I've heard this whole adventure.
Yeah, like as a cat, Whiskey, you're like so excited about this, and you just feel like dashing right after them. Do you do that? Do you like dash after the cats, or do you like resist the temptation?
Oh yes, absolutely, full send.
Okay, so like you shoot yourself down the vent.
Yeah, and as I do that, my eyes just like widen, like my irises, just a full on cat lock on mode.
Yeah. So like the revelation about the situation is that you found yourself within the vent system. And it's kind of like this network that you can pass through without being seen, and it's the perfect size for cats, turns out. The complication is you've made a bunch of noise with the bird's nest, so it's gonna be some commotion, and B, your friends are still down there. You managed to very successfully jump up there, but now they have to get there too.
You know, if you were to catch the building on fire, I bet they'd run out. Oh, wait, no, our bodies are in there. Just kidding. Don't do that. Normal fire-breathing kitten idea, suddenly less successful than usual.
Again, it depends on your goal.
Oh, yeah, I like being a cat. No, the elves live longer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that you guys would want to stay in your buddies. So, all right, well, Whiskey is chasing birds in an event system. What are the two of you doing?
I'm going to look to see if there is a normal sized door that we could get in. I know Bennington was very focused on cat-sized door. So I'm going to go for larger, any place I think we could sneak in through.
Okay, well, you do find quite a few doors. Like there's at least one on each side. Well, there is one side that doesn't like have a that doesn't have any doors, but there is one with a carriage size door, and there on the other three sides there are several doors that you can get in through. But you go and like test, you kind of like push on the door with your paws, hoping that with your, like, as a pretty big cat, you'd be able to open it, but they're all closed. Do you try to open the knob? Like, do you try to like open the door as a cat? They're just like, they're the round kind of doorknobs.
Oh, they're the round kind?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, not realizing that that's just the worst design for a cat ever.
They didn't design it for cats.
Yeah. But I don't know, what would that be, a cat roll? I mean, I guess it would be. It'd just be a very bad cat roll.
I mean, you haven't tested the extent of your psychic powers yet. You don't know whether you have the ability to manipulate things other than minds.
Actually, can I tell if I hear anybody inside on the other side of the door?
Yeah. I would say that would be a cat stuff thing, because it is, it's hearing.
Okay.
Unless you want to try to make it a psychic thing and, like...
I'm about to make it a psychic thing, because I'm going to try to convince whoever's on the inside of that door that they heard someone knock on the door.
Okay, so I would say, like, yeah, use a cat dice to see if you hear anyone, and then a psychic one to try to convince it. So, like, you can do 1 roll, 2 rolls.
Okay. So for the cat roll, I got a 3. So I rolled under my 4. Mm-hmm. And then for the attempting to convince him he heard a knock on the door.
You can use 2 dice for that, because it's your specialty.
Yeah. That's a 1 and a 2.
1 and a 2. Oh, no. Yeah, that's... Okay, so oh, yeah.
I was going to say, maybe I go to do that, and in the process, my tail wraps on the door. So I actually knock on the door inadvertently. And then, which would bring probably more attention than I really was trying to get.
Yeah. So what happens is you do hear someone right on the end of the door, and like, yeah, you reach out with your psychic consciousness and say, hey, Hugh, open the door for me. But then you just hear a, what the heck?
Oh, no.
I heard a meow, but I heard a voice too. What? And then,
while you nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as if someone gently rapping at your chamber door. Meow.
It was just a big old fat cat. Nothing more. That's all.
It's a little late to realize this, but it's occurring to me that jumping might actually be very useful for a cat trying to get up on a knob and open it.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what happens is that guy, because like the thing is, nothing goes wrong. So, he does open the door, but he doesn't want to let you in. He wants to open the door to see what the heck's going on, why he hears meowing, and why someone's asking to let them in. But he kind of like blocks the door with his body, and like, yeah, pretty scary. He's like, he makes sure that you can't like fit between his legs either. And he's like, listen, cat, you're not going to come in here.
Oh, then it's on. Full on, just launching at this guy. I'm going to try to take him down.
Use your full weight.
Yeah, we're talking 20 pounds of just, I'm not even going to say fury, just
fur determination.
Yeah, that's about it. Just at him.
Okay, so, yeah, go ahead and make a cat check for that to just body him as a big cat.
Yeah, that's a 3.
A 3, that's a success.
Yeah. Yes.
So describe just how you attack this guy. Are you scratching at him? Or are you just like launching yourself from a height to knock him down? What are you doing?
Basically, as hard as I can run into his shins is what I'm doing. Full on, like almost turn sideways, like side swipe him with all my mass. I don't think I'm going to necessarily get past him, but he's definitely going down. That's my goal.
Yeah, so I mean, that is a success. So then you ram yourself into his shins, and he just goes, ah, and then falls on the ground like you know how like soccer players like hold their shins.
Oh,
and
perfect.
like he's still trying to block the entrance, but like he's more concerned about like he's more like embarrassed about having been brought down by a cat and concerned about like his leg hurts or whatever. So yeah, what are you guys doing? Are you guys gonna just?
So I turn to Bennington and go, "Hey, Bennington, I think I heard a greeble in his back pocket."
I run for the butt.
Okay, so are you actually trying to find a greeble there, just so I know whether it's a summoning check or if it's a cat stuff check?
Oh, you have to
Summoning.
summon a greeble from his butt. You
I
have no
have
choice.
Okay, roll your roll 2 dice because that's your psychic specialty.
2 5s. That's 2 successes. I have a 2.
Okay, this is hilarious. So, first of all, Maximus, you're soaking wet. Both of you are soaking wet. Just plow this guy down. He's on the ground. Bennington, you hear a greeble coming from his butt. You you dive right into his butt. Like
I open a portal to the netherworld.
Yep, you open a portal to the netherworld.
You know, like you do.
Like you do.
And the greeble that comes out of that portal is quite brown and and misshapen. It's a poop greeble.
Regret.
You pull out a poop greeble from his butt.
I'm going to stick it on him and not touch it.
Okay, so with 2 sopping wet cats having just pounced on him and destroyed his pride and his pants, he now has a poop greeble that's covering his face. Just trying to like, I don't know what it's trying to do. What would a poop greeble do?
Its attack is called the open-armed hug.
Yep, the open armed hug. It's trying to hug him. Yeah, this guy has been essentially nullified. You can go over him as you please. And into the building.
Sorry.
I feel so bad for this guy now. This is the worst day at work ever.
Could
100%.
Bennington, as Bennington is walking away, just do a little kick with their back foot as they walk away?
Something smells. I'm going to cover
You're
it.
going to bury it.
Litter box. Yep.
This guy was just going to work.
Some people don't like cats for a reason.
Yeah, well.
You guys are giving him a reason not to like cats.
You've
Like he probably didn't
We've
like them
created the origin
beforehand.
story for like like a supervillain at this point.
I can't wait for him to return in episode 400 of Fire Breathing Kitten.
Yes.
Guy who got poop greebled is like officially a named character from now on.
Yep.
Yep, the guy who got poop greebled.
So I'm just like dead sprint into the building now at this point, looking for any signs of whiskey or our bodies or...
Okay. Oh, yeah. Back to whiskey because, yeah, what are you doing in the vents? You're chasing birds, but then you hear that commotion outside. You hear like, hey, no cats inside. And then you just hear this guy like, just shouting, like, what's going on? Damn cats.
Okay, well, I guess I would just try to find my way to the commotion. Or rather, Fennis will try to find his way to the commotion. Would that be a check for that, or?
Oh yeah, actually, I would say yes because you're within this network of pipes, and it's actually quite hard to know what sound is like, which sound is coming from where, and like which way to go. So that's definitely, you can try to use a psychic skill for that, or you can try a psychic roll or a cat roll, or you can use your cat skill, like jumping. Yeah, what would you like to do? Like, how are you doing that? Navigating these tunnels?
I'll rely on my natural cat sense of direction that I assume that cats have.
Okay, that will just be a 1d6 then. That's you're rolling under your perimeter.
I rolled a 1.
Yep. So
Well done.
yeah, indeed. Like you there's this whole maze of events and stuff, but you manage to like find the one that will direct you to where your companions are, and you reach them without any further difficulty. Yeah. Do you want to stay up in the, like, try to get a vantage point from the roof but follow them, or do you want to jump down to where they are?
So am I like just coming out of a vent from some point near where they are, or am I just coming out right on top of them?
Yeah, it would be like they're full on sprinting inside, so you'd be like sort of coming out from a point behind them in the hallway. Like, you know how like hallways have these vents and stuff, it would be from there that you'd be coming out. And you could try to like find a way to run parallel to them, because you rolled like a success. I'm not going to make you roll again to try to keep up with them. Like, we just assume that you keep up with them if you want to go up, or you could like again jump down and catch up to them.
Okay. I'm going to say that Fennis flings himself out of the vent and tries to gracefully land near where they are at that current moment.
Okay. Just to see like how gracefully you're able to jump down, give me a 2d6 check for cat skill. For cat stuff. And consider your cat skill.
I rolled 2 4s.
2 4s. That's above, right?
Yes, that's 2 hires.
Okay. Well, in that case, you do jump down and you manage to land near them, but like you kind of mess up the fall. You roll right into the wall, and one of your paws kind of hurts from that.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So like you trailed behind them just a tiny bit just because of that. But
I flung myself out of this vent and then just immediately face slammed and tumbled across the floor.
Yeah, essentially, like, you were not graceful at all. Cats don't always land on your feet, and you showed that.
Well, I hope that whichever cat this body belongs to forgives me for that.
And Mervon, seeing this, is going to try to be supportive and is like, oh, don't worry, Whiskey. Like, we all make mistakes. There's a guy out there that got knocked down, and then Bennington made him poop himself. It was horrible. So it could have a way worse day than this.
I'll say.
I think that was sentient poop from the plane of poop.
Yep.
Okay, fine. She made him sentiently poop himself from the plane of poop. She opened a poop portal in his backside. I didn't even know that could happen.
Well, that's certainly a remarkable, if not vaguely disgusting event to transpire in my absence.
That is, I will never be the same. I'm not going to lie. That's going to haunt me for many days.
Okay, so you guys are like running down these corridors in this warehouse. It's kind of like the lights are on, but they're flickering. It's that kind of vibe. The rain's coming down on the top of the ceiling, and you hear coming from one of the rooms of the warehouse. You hear chanting. You hear non-existence is the way to go. We shall destroy everything and everyone.
It's always a cult. It's always a cult.
You hear, like, at first it's robots, and then it's people saying that. Like, you hear the robotic voices, and then you hear the people saying that. But then the more you hear them saying that, the more like robotic the people sound, almost.
Well, I'd say it's a fair assumption to say that they would probably not be able-bodied, willing to help bystanders.
That's probably a valid assumption.
These seem like dog people.
Oh,
wait.
yes,
You mean like
dog people,
like stand on their back legs, like anthropomorphized dogs, or people who just like dogs?
Actually, I don't know.
Either one's terrible, and I'm not excited about it.
Normally, I would say that either any choice between liking cats or dogs is a fair decision either way, but I feel, for whatever reason, very strong distaste for dogs and anyone who likes them.
These are dog people. They like dogs. Let's get them.
Yes, let's.
Greebles, ho!
Is the door open?
Is the door open? Yeah, I'll say, yep, the door is open. It is just slightly ajar.
Okay.
The door is ajar.
That's all a cat needs.
Okay, so you guys are
do we
rushing
sneak
into the
in,
room?
or are we going in, like, are we going ham, or are we going in quiet? I guess that's what I'm trying to find out.
Well, I say we just go in. It's best to confront villainy directly.
Okay. I'm going full bore at the door. I figure if that door comes flying open, that's going to at least startle them.
All right.
Like cats out of hell.
Yep. I'm like a cat that saw a cucumber. Okay? If you haven't watched any of those videos, they're adorable.
Okay. I'm fully behind you, Mervius. You break down that door. All that weight goes crashing into splinters of wood or whatever distinctly material this door is made of. Shall be ashes soon.
Oh my.
And we're back to burning the place down.
Pretty much. I mean, if you want to roll for it to see if anything else happens, you can do that. But like, I don't have to. You don't have to, because I'll say like you just body that door like you body that person, and it just goes like it doesn't go flying off its hinges. It doesn't go like it doesn't like splinter to pieces or anything like this. But it just slams into the wall and actually makes a kind of dent in the wall. All right. You do that, and then you see record scratch. All these like weird, these weird robots. I forget what the word you used for them was.
Segways with tablets as heads.
Yep, these weird Segway tablets. About 5 of them turn toward you. You see a bunch of people that kind of have their kind of slack-jawed, eyes blank. They also turn toward you. Okay. What are you guys doing?
Well, Fennis will walk forward immediately and say, "Attention, various ne'er-do-wells. We are the fire-breathing kittens, and while I'm not entirely sure what is happening at this current moment, I'm fairly certain it is some form of crime. So, please stop peacefully, and we won't have to get rough with you." He like brings up his little paws and tries to crack his knuckles.
Okay. Yeah, I would say this would be like a psychic skill because you're trying to communicate them, but being like a cat, you're trying to communicate to multiple people and intimidate. Yeah, I would say this would be a psychic stuff. So go ahead and roll for that. If you're using your psychic skill in a way, you can add other d6 to it if you want. But I think your psychic skill was like plant control.
Yes, it involved plants. I had a number of opportunities to use it earlier, but I couldn't think of one. So,
since I can tell he's trying to like control them, can I help him out and use my psychic ability to like help channel him to them?
Yeah. So like roll. I guess you Mervon/Maximus roll. Yeah, Maximus. Roll your thing. You'd have to be rolling 2d6.
I rolled 2 4s. Which is spot on again.
Yeah, it's exactly.
oh.
Statistically, this has been a weird episode.
Really weird.
This is quite the statistically improbable episode.
This is weird with rolling exactly your thing. It says you don't get a success, but instead reveal an opportunity, rumor, secret, or weakness. Okay, this is interesting.
Secret.
So, yeah, you don't give him the extra d6, but by like extending your psychic awareness to all of these robots and to everyone else, all of the people, first of all, you see into Fennis's minds, and those people are, at least some of them, about, let me just roll a number real quick. 9 of them are your former students. Another 5 or so are people that you don't recognize. But back to you, Maximus. You can tell that the robots can't be mind controlled, can't be intimidated. And you also sense yourselves, not in this room, but in a room right next to it. And sensing it, you can sense like, yeah, they have essentially been replaced with cats. Like you can sense one is sleeping, the one that's in your body is just taking a nap. The one is in Sadie's body is just like bouncing around, trying to do stuff. And then the one in Fennis's body is scratching at the wall, trying to get out. So yeah, those are what that is what I'll tell you in terms of the secrets. So unfortunately, Whiskey, you do not get an extra dice, so it'll just have to be the 1.
Okay. I rolled a 5.
And that is above your perimeter, so that is a success.
Awesome.
All right. I
you're
didn't expect to succeed there at all.
Yeah, I mean, your perimeter is like decently high, so yeah. So you wanted to tell him to stand down? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay. So the robots, they see you and they cannot be, even though they can't necessarily be like influenced psionically, you do manage to, your brain waves actually like, you remember that resonance that you felt earlier, that Bennington had pointed out to you, like earlier he was like, oh, do you hear that? This is weird. You kind of heard it too. You managed to get your psychic skills, that resonance, and that completely breaks all their circuits. You just see them sparking and no, we do not stand down. And they just power down. So that is a success on that end. You still have these people with these weird blank eyes.
And so how do they react to the resonance thing?
So the way that they react is initially you see no change, and then suddenly they start to actually convulse, and then they drop to the ground and just lie there.
GM,
Yes.
may I open a portal underneath them?
You can use a psychic skill to try. And if is it in some way affected? Like, is it some way related to greebles?
It is to the place the greebles come from.
So you want to open a place the portals of greebles come from? All right, that will be 3 d6s then, and this will be a psychic roll. Let's see what happens.
3 successes. One of them is a 6. Because my perimeter is a 2. So the odds of a dice being over a 2 is pretty good.
All I can
any of them
imagine.
2? None of them were 2, right? Okay.
All I can imagine is the portal that just opened for that poor fellow by the door, and you're sending them to his butt. That's all that's coming to mind now. And I'm like, this poor guy, we have ruined his existence.
Well, there is a portal there too, but the place is much bigger on the inside.
Okay, good. Maybe.
Okay, that would be hilarious. Just imagining the portal opening again and them just like flying out into the street.
I mean, I know a lot of things come from there, but I don't think all the greebles in the world come from that guy's butt.
GM, do all the greebles in the world come from the guy's butt?
All the poop greebles do.
Okay.
Now they do. Now each poop he takes shall be a greeble.
Oh, this poor man.
There's some kind of ley line near that guy's butt that just got opened up for good after that portal appeared.
I do want to turn that off, actually. I'm not a terrible person.
You turn it off eventually. Okay.
I don't know. If you've ever seen someone with a colostomy bag, maybe like this is it's not a gift, right?
Where are you going with this?
Better than a colostomy bag. That's the title of this episode. Better than a colostomy bag.
I will not vote for that
Vehemently
name.
shaking their heads no.
Oh boy. Okay, well, back to the situation at hand. You can, I guess afterwards, eventually, he will stop pooping greebles. But you open a portal. That off. Yeah. You open a portal to the plane of greebles, and all of the people that were there fall in. Yep. Do you want the robots to fall in too, or robots stay?
Oh, yeah.
Robots fall in too?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you open and like basically the entire room except for where you guys are standing, like I would imagine is the corner of you, turns into this giant portal and they just fall in. And you, Bennington, see all the greebles in with them. Like you see like if you ever saw a loading screen or something of Pokemon, you jump in.
Sorry guys.
Bennington jumps into the portal of greebles. Do you just keep what do you do with the portal? You keep it open? Do you
I want to catch one with my mouth.
I want to catch one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to smack it around a bit too. Yeah.
Roll your 3d6 check then.
Okay. I'm trying to summon a greeble in person. Match higher.
Okay. So,
oh no, what secret did I learn about greebles? Reveal the ultimate universal truth about them, GM.
42.
The ultimate... Okay, this is gonna be interesting. So, you go and you catch a greeble in your mouth. It's like... Is this really cute one? It looks like kind of like a pigeon. Kind of like a ferret, but not quite a mink weasel. Like, it's like a mink weasel, but not exactly a mink weasel. It's bright and blue and green, and as soon as you catch it in your mouth and you go into the plane of greebles, they all disappear, and you realize that they were all just an illusion this entire time.
I jump back out.
You jump back out, and the portal closes with you, and so ends Bennington's relationship with greebles. The cat in Sadie's body kind of just was jumping around looking for greebles. It just stops because it's discovered the truth.
You can't go back after you've jumped into the portal of the plane of greebles. You've taken that matrix pill that means you can't see reality the same anymore.
Exactly.
I hope when you switch back, you adopt that cat.
I have to. It has no more reason to live.
Yeah.
I have to feed it a lot and turn it into a Maximus.
I've not been following this Greebles plotline very well, but I can tell that this is truly a dark day in history.
It is. It is worse than you can imagine.
My goal as a cat was to catch the Greebles, and I just went to the place where they lived and discovered there are none.
Yep, it's like you saw the light, you went to the other side, and then you got pulled back into it.
Man,
onto this side.
I was ready for like Soylent Green, Greebles are people. I was like, but no, Greebles don't exist. It was my brain the whole time.
You pulled back the curtain on the wizard. That's what happens.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly it. Like once you discover the secrets, the magic is gone. It is like growing up.
Man, I'm 6 months old. I'm an adult now.
Yep, pretty much.
So I turn to Fennis and say, our bodies are through that door in that other room. I could sense them earlier.
Oh, well, we had better go and claim them then. Claim them then, as I would say within a proper approximation of words and language.
I'm very impressed by how well you've been doing with your cat mouth and psychic thoughts.
Thank you.
I just figured, you're like a science-y kind of guy, and I thought, hopefully you can figure out how we got to get back in the bodies.
Well, so far my working theory has been maybe if we hit them at a hard enough force, we'll trade places.
Well,
like
there's only one logical thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what happened to me the first time.
Yes, of course. Just like Truck-kun.
Well, I'm going to cannonball this thing then, because I'm already shaped like it.
Oh, wait, no, you'll kill yourself. I can't handle the Maximus coming at you.
Look, hey, you said hit them as hard as I can. There's only one logical answer here.
This is a hippo body. That's like unstoppable force versus immovable object type stuff.
Basically.
There.
Yep.
a soaking wet, humongous cat versus a massive hippo person. Let's see. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a psychic roll because you are trying to psychically swap places with them by just botting them hard enough. You're trying to go so hard at them that you're transcending the physical cat world and entering the humanoid world.
Yeah, so that's a 1?
It's a 3d6 check.
It's 3d6? Oh, thank goodness. Otherwise, you were just going to see a massive collision between a cat and a hippo, and nothing was going to happen. Yeah, you're still going to see a massive collision between a cat and a hippo, and nothing happening, because that's a 1, a 2, and a 1.
I'm going to help you and suffer your consequences.
Me too.
Okay,
all
so
right,
I'm going
to you get 5d6
with our powers combined.
Okay,
the
so
Trinity.
This is proof of teamwork because I by myself rolled a 1, a 2, and a 1, and then on theirs I rolled 2 6s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so because you all suffer the consequences, I'll say that you guys all take in on this roll and the chaos that it ensues. So basically what happens is all 3 of you leap onto yourselves and as you do that, you collide into your bodies. Maximus, what you do is you actually bounce off of the hippo person's belly and just go flying.
that's fair.
And then you crash into the other 2. So then you get this massive cat humanoid collision, a disruption between time and space, and suddenly you guys are yourselves again. You guys you kind of kind of just look around and see what's going on, and you're just like, oh my god, why does my body hurt? It feels like I've just been bodied by something. And then you're like, wait, my body, I have my body back. And then the poor cats are just all lying in a heap together.
Fennis,
I'm picking up Maximus and taking him home.
Honestly, even though I already know, or rather, Fennis, already know that Whiskey is not a very affectionate and loving cat, I think I will also try to adopt him.
Aww.
We'll have it will be quite an interesting relationship, I think, but I would like to try.
And what about you, Anne/Sadie?
Sadie has summoning powers as her Anne self. She once again has fingers, though. And so she feels around in the air, and it looks kind of weird. And she's like, you're like, what is she doing? And then she's like, aha, I see it right there. And she opens up a zipper, and there's plains of rolling grass and little kiwi birds. And she's like, Bennington, do you know what's better than greebles? Flightless island birds. And once again, there is joy in Bennington's eyes, and it jumps through the zipper.
Joy immediately followed by bloodlust.
Yep.
That's what cats are.
Yeah, I mean, they're trained killing machines, so.
And I close the zipper on basically New Zealand.
Yep, you have just probably caused the extinction of kiwis.
There's only one cat. Really, that's not a problem. It's when there's 2. Bennington was a boy cat. No chance of kittens. Have a good life, Bennington.
Aw, you gave Bennington another reason to live, to massacre defenseless, flightless island birds that are bad at being birds. I love it. All right, so with Anne having furthered the process of natural selection, Mervon having decided to adopt this big chunky boy Maximus, leader of packs, king of the alleys, and Fennis having learned a lot and also discovered what it was like to be a cat, that he's quite a good cat actually, and deciding to adopt this grizzled old alley cat. Yeah.
And something that Fennis will do is that Whiskey will definitely not be very okay with the idea of being handled by a human. However, I happen to have a pink boa from my previous adventure, which I will use to flap around and distract Whiskey enough so that I can safely pick them up and take them with me.
Aww.
Well done.
A cat tired from playing is an easy to pick up cat.
True. All right. And this concludes the adventure in Psychic Cat Chaos. All right. Everyone say bye. Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought I did that part. Okay. So joining us today were Fennis and Whiskey.
Good to see you all again, or for the first time. So both. And this is Whiskey.
Mervon the Solid and Maximus.
I didn't realize what I was getting into when they signed up for this guild.
Yeah, definitely quite an eventful first adventure. And Anne/Sadie and Bennington.
Sadie, you back? No? Okay. Still me. Bye.
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 You've reached the end of the show where we tell you about a podcast that you might enjoy. Have you heard of Humane Nature? This is a bi-weekly show that discusses the do's and don'ts of animal and wildlife tourism around the world using literary review, interviews, and personal professional experience. Check out Humane Nature, a podcast.